Hey there, dirt bike people. I'm Chuck from TrueTech, and today I'm going to talk about some red flags and some green flags when it comes to shops. The first big red flag, the most important thing that you can pay attention to when you're walking into a shop is it organized? If things are messy in the shop, just turn around and walk out. You do not want your machine worked on by a mechanic that is messy. Organization, cleanliness, and space to work is a priority. Troy's working on a shock here, and so he doesn't have a bunch of other stuff in his space on that bench. It's just that shock. This is Jake's main work area, obviously very clean. This is Jake's engine bench. He's gonna be doing this crank next, so that's all set up and waiting for him there. That's Troy's area there. You can see he has room to wheel his chair around that thing. There isn't stuff laying all over the place. If there's things piled up in the corners, if there is stuff that is accumulated on horizontal surfaces, it's a huge red flag. I do not want someone working on my stuff that can't even organize their stuff. Now, a green flag, number one, an open concept shop. This is not something that's required, and I get it. In a lot of shops, you don't want people looking into the back, even if it is organized. But if you can walk up to the counter, and you can look in the back and see what's going on back there, and you can hear what the techs are doing, and they're communicating back and forth between the guy that's running the counter and the techs, and everything is open and not trying to hide anything, that's a huge green flag. And I know a lot of you techs are like, no, don't, because the techs like to get in a groove and you encounter unexpected problems. And yes, there is a good argument for keeping the shop closed to customers, and especially for efficiency and distracting techs. However, like I say, if you can look back there and things are open, honest, straightforward, green flag. Red flag number two, gatekeeping. I think it's a huge red flag when shops or dealerships try to withhold information instead of just help whenever they can. When someone walks up to my counter and asks me how to do something like clean a carburetor or measure piston clearance or do some type of work on their machine, I always tell them. I put everything on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And we're in an age where information is free. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's good information, but the information is out there. If you need to gatekeep information, then that tells me that you are not confident that you know enough to charge people for what you're doing. If someone comes in and asks for advice on a top end, I'm gonna give them whatever information they want, and eventually, when they run into a problem, I'm gonna work on their bottom end, or I'm gonna do their suspension. It doesn't matter. Even if I never make a dime from that customer, the paradigm is what matters. I can offer plenty of value to customers without having to withhold information. If you walk into a shop and they don't want to help you and tell you how to do stuff and give you information, huge red flag. Green flag number two, when you have your unit in for service and you get texts and pictures or videos or emails from the service staff, huge green flag. We live in an era where everyone's got a phone in their pocket, including every single one of the techs and every one of the service staff at the dealership. While your machine is being worked on, pictures are usually taken, and in an era where communication is so easy, if the shop you're working with doesn't have a system for communicating quickly with customers, that's a red flag. If you're able to text with the tech or with the service advisor where your bike is being worked on, it means that they're with the times, that communication is a priority, and they want you to be kept up to date with what's happening with your machine. Big green flag. Red flag number three, high turnover. I feel like every one of these red flags is a big one. This is so huge. There are dealerships and shops where you walk in and you know the people that are behind the counter or that are working in the shop. You get to know them by name. You develop a rapport with them. They get to know you. Any business person will tell you that if employee retention is a challenge, there's something fundamentally wrong with the management or the ownership of that business. If employees don't want to stick around, why not? There's not too much I have to say about this one. If there's a high employee turnover, big red flag. Green flag. If the guy behind the counter has personal experience and advice that he gives you. I'm gonna go in here because the furnace is about to turn on. When you walk up to the counter and you want to buy parts, or when you are getting your machine worked on, you want the people working on it to have firsthand experience with your type of machine. If someone's working on your bike, you want that person to be riding weekends and evenings. You want that person to have a good understanding of what it is that you want from your machine. And that doesn't just come from a book or from working on stuff. If the guy behind the counter can relate to you and understand what you want out of your motorcycle, big green flag. Red flag number 4. We got to go into this one in a bit of detail, but I'm going to say a red flag is if there's an OEM dealership sign out front. Now, of course, we need dealerships, and not all dealerships are bad, and many of them are excellent. What it means, though, if there's a dealership sign out front, if you're dealing with an OEM dealer, is that there are incentives in place. And there are incentives in place no matter what, to an extent. However, most OEMs, all OEMs, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, KTM, etc., CF Moto, BRP, they're huge companies and they move millions and millions of dollars of parts and units per year. Now, at the end of the year, the guy holding the inventory is the guy that loses. So let's use KTM for an example, because I work on a lot of KTMs. KTM manufactures the product and then they distribute the product to their dealers. It's more complicated than that, but basically KTM needs to incentivize their dealerships to move units and parts as fast as possible so that they don't get stuck with units at the end of the year. That makes total sense and that's fair. However, what that means is that when you walk into that dealership, if it's structured in a way that is going to generate profit, those sales staff should be kind of jumping down your throat and doing whatever they can to get you to buy units, to buy parts, to bring your unit in. There's a lot that it takes to keep a dealership rolling, and unfortunately, an inevitable part of that is a structure that incentivizes high pressure sales. And if you have a local dealership where they're not pressuring you to buy stuff whenever you come in there, you're fortunate, and you should really support that dealer, because it's very hard to run a dealership and not get sucked into a high pressure environment. That's one of the reasons why I have resisted taking on a brand. I've been approached, but I want to maintain autonomy. I want to own my business and I want to decide what happens in my business. I don't want an outside company telling me what I should or should not do or what I have to do. So I'm going to stay in charge of my business so that I can serve my customers better. And I think that there's a solid argument to be made for going to the dealership as little as possible, simply because the incentive structure is designed in such a way to move as much product as possible. Okay, on to a little bit more of a positive one. Green flag number 4. If there is music pumping out of the back, that is a huge green flag. While mechanics are working on units, there are times when things are efficient, times when things are going smoothly, there are times when things are rough, when guys are not having a good day, when you're just struggling. There are times when you need things quiet and guys are concentrating really hard. But generally, when there's loud music going on, it means that guys are in the groove, they're having fun, things are getting worked on, it's efficient, everyone's having a good time. Same thing, if you hear yelling and laughing and stuff coming from the back, it means that mechanics are happy, and happy mechanics do good work, and generally it happens quick. When people are having a good time, things are efficient, things are rolling, and grumpy mechanics tend to be resentful towards customers. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but mechanics do often get resentful towards customers, and you don't want that. You want the environment to be such that mechanics are thankful for customers and have a good relationship with customers. And I think face-to-face interaction between mechanics and customers helps to facilitate that, so that mechanics are happy to work on customer units and motivated to do a good job because they know who that customer is. So loud music, laughing, yelling, a positive environment, big green flag. Final red flag. If the shop works on lawnmowers, you probably don't want them working on your bike. Lawnmowers, garden equipment, chainsaws, what do they have to do with high performance power sports equipment? Sorry, furnace is turning on. Going in the warehouse again. This kind of comes back to what I said about the guy behind the counter being an enthusiast. What do machines like this have in common with chainsaws and lawnmowers? If I'm bringing my bike to a shop, I want the guy working on it to be an expert. on working on these things. I don't want him to split his time between air compressors, generators, dirt bikes, ATVs, etc. Now, yes, there are similarities. They're all put together with nuts and bolts and metal and plastic. But if you work on things regularly, you know that different machines work by different rules. Even the difference between a Honda and some of these KTMs over here. KTMs use 13 mil heads, Japanese bikes use 12s and 14s. Yeah, that's not a big deal, but it's an example of the thought patterns between different manufacturers, and those thought patterns are vastly different between power sports equipment and power equipment. These machines are designed for performance. Lawn and garden equipment is designed for longevity and practical use. That's not to say that a business can't do a good job working on both. It is possible, but it's a red flag. The flag is waving, and it means that you should exercise caution when bringing your stuff to that business. That is by no means an exhaustive list. I've been keeping a list for a little bit. I'm sure you guys have some red flags, some green flags that you guys look for when you're walking into a shop. Put them in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching.